Hello everybody and welcome back to a new vlog. I hope you're all well. Today we're in Cowbridge, South Wales, having a look at a garden and some of the local charity shops. Unfortunately this one was actually closed, but of course I spotted something immediately I wanted to have a look at. In fact I spotted quite a few items, but more on that later. Cowbridge is a historic market town known for its independent shops and Georgian architecture. In the town centre is Cowbridge Physic Garden.
Yeah, beautiful Physic Garden.
The layout and content of the garden are typical of the 18th century, and only plants found in Britain before 1800 are included in the garden. Each bed is devoted to plants with medicinal properties.
A little sniff of some sage. Lovely, I love sage.
12 beds are arranged around a central fountain. The garden is very tranquil, and seats in the pavilions and alongside the paths allow you to sit and enjoy the garden at leisure.
Well, these wallflowers are in flower. They're biennials, so I would definitely like to have some of those at the Château. Very relaxing. And we're just going to have our sandwich and then probably go for a Welsh cake.
It was lovely to sit outside and contemplate and plan my own new garden in France.
Something lovely about spring flowers and stone walls together. Very pretty.
In the background here you can see the old grammar school, and this garden was originally the kitchen garden for the school. I love these espalier apple trees with the lavender planted underneath. I will definitely be copying that idea. This is the bed for liver related ailments and plants that can help you with those. This cardoon is a great architectural plant. From the Physic Garden you can walk through to the Old Hall Gardens.
Oh wow, amazing. These are snakehead fritillaries and I really tried unsuccessfully to grow them. This is the most I've ever seen. They are stunning. I've definitely got fritillary envy now. You can see hopefully how pretty they are. They're so lovely and delicate. I've never seen so many. These lovely daffodils. These are actually my favourite type of daffodil with the orange centre. And these tulips coming up, they're really beautiful. So it says the walls of this garden date from 1254. That is just incredible.
These are the original town walls built in medieval times.
Originally a Roman road, a principal route through South Wales, which led to the foundation of the town on the ford of the River Thor.
There was once a Georgian house in this garden, owned by the Edmonds family. However, all that's left is this beautiful pink facade. The Vale of Glamorgan Council are working to revive this garden to make it a haven for wildlife.
There's a good wood pile behind me, which is really good for wildlife, and some bird feeders.
The garden is certainly a place of beauty now, and if you're ever in the area I would definitely recommend a visit.
Lovely camellias here framing the entrance back into the Physic Garden. Well, that was the Physic Garden and it was so lovely. Now we're going to go and find a Welsh tea cake. On the hunt for a tea cake. The first place didn't have one, so we're going to try somewhere else.
We found some Welsh cakes eventually in this lovely delicatessen. It had so many nice things. I also bought some Caerphilly cheese, local cheese. I was also tempted by these lovely homemade cakes, but today we just stuck with the Welsh cakes. There was also some lovely Easter biscuits. Really, I could have bought quite a lot in this shop. This pub looked like a lovely place for a drink at some point, but it was a little bit early in the day for that.
So I've got my Caerphilly cheese and we're going to go home now and have our Welsh cakes with a cup of tea, and we'll have some of the cheese and wine tonight. So I'm just going to sit here, enjoy the view and my Welsh cake.
On our last morning here in South Wales, we decided to drive along and have a little look at the Glamorgan Heritage Coast, which runs for 14 miles from Aberthaw to Porthcawl. This is Dunraven Bay. Parts of Poldark Series 3 were filmed here, the coastline standing in for Cornwall. As I mentioned once in my previous vlog, I'm actually a geologist. I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in geology, so I'm completely in my element here.
These fossils, amazing. Ammonites up there.
I thought it was lovely that these fossil specimens had been left so that everybody can enjoy them. These cliffs are of the Blue Lias Formation, a type of limestone from the early Jurassic. Apparently the tidal range here is the second highest in the world after the Bay of Fundy in Canada. On the other side of the Severn Estuary you can see England and Somerset. We left beautiful Dunraven Bay behind and drove along the coast towards Ogmore Castle. Adjacent to Ogmore Castle are these ancient stepping stones. These allow walkers to cross the Iwini River. Apologies to any Welsh speakers for my pronunciation. I think perhaps on horseback might have been a safer option. I didn't really fancy getting wet today. We followed these beautiful horses past this lovely Welsh cottage and up to the entrance to the castle.
So this is Ogmore Castle. It was built in the 12th century by William de Londres, and he came over from Normandy and conquered this part of Wales and built this castle to protect himself and his family. Nice moat. I do like a moat. And over the drawbridge. What have we got, Edwin?
Hey?
What have we got?
By the Normans.
Yep. They chose a pretty spot.
Yeah.
The whole castle is in ruins now, which is kind of a shame, but I do love a castle, and this is really pretty. It's very atmospheric and the location is lovely, being right next to the river. Going through through a doorway. It's so peaceful. Lovely. Where should we have our tea?
No, not really. Those Normans didn't build any picnic benches.
They didn't, did they? Very thoughtless. Time for some tea. And some Easter eggs. I'm in the dungeon now.
We'll pick you up tomorrow.
My great-grandfather was Welsh, and you do have to feel a little bit sorry for the local Welsh population who were pushed out by the Normans.
Well, that was Ogmore Castle. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to head back to Cowbridge now and go and buy some Welsh tea cakes for our children, and I'm hoping that shop is open so I can have a look at that antique dish.
We went back to the same delicatessen as yesterday to buy the same Welsh cakes because they were so delicious. We bought 6 in total for £4.50, which I thought was very reasonable. And yes, the shop was open this time, so in I went to have a look at a dish and the copper kettle I had also spotted the day before. This vintage Coalport pageant 2-handle Windsor dish was £8 and it was definitely coming home with me. There was also time for a quick peruse of the books, and as usual I headed straight for the cookery section. I don't have this Duchy cookbook, so I bought this one for £2. And I fell in love with a large antique copper kettle from the 19th century, and that was definitely coming home with me as well.
Well, that's it for our little trip to Wales on the Glamorgan Coast. I did get the copper kettle and the plate and a book from the shop which was open, and everyone here is so friendly. As I was leaving, one lady said, "Oh, it's a lovely copper kettle." I said, "I'm not sure my husband agrees, but anyway, it's going to look really nice in the Château kitchen." And the cookbook, I always, as I say, I can't resist a cookbook in a charity shop. But thank you very much for watching and subscribing if you have, and I'll see you next time.